Here we are together in this sacred community, in this sacred gathering. Yes, sacred gathering. Here this glorious Wednesday afternoon. Greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And take that deep breath as you come into this sacred container. I could feel myself not exactly grounded right when I came on. I can usually tell it by the high pitch in my voice. And that tells me to take that deep breath as I welcome you all in. My intention always is to welcome you into a sacred container of where we discuss different things from A to Z. For those of you that are new to me, I'm Tammy Lee Schumacher. I am the creator of the Emerald Compass. When I say that, it's not just me, it's me and my helpers on all different areas and levels and dimensions and realities that come together that help guide me and teach me how to become more sovereign within myself, how to rely on that innermost vast landscape of who I am. And that's part of what I teach. As a multidimensional intuitive guide, helping to assist people by being that bridge and that way shower, assisting people to awaken to the depth of their soul, to claim their full power back, to walk in the abundance of being whole, calling back our fragmented soul pieces, working with our ancestors, clearing our lineage. So our children, our nieces, our nephews, those all that are related to us, we clean up the path of what they need to walk, of where they're going to walk in their life. When we clean up our ancestry, when we work with our ancestry, when we help to heal those ancient discords that we all have, each and every one of us have it, even my teachers, even the ascended masters, they are still working on themselves. And we call back those fragmented soul pieces of ourselves to come back home, in order to be whole and healed in every aspect. And as I'm sharing this and speaking about this, there's a bird right outside my window. I was guided to actually sit here in our front room, and because we have this really nice big picture window, and there's a lot of plants right here that are just waiting for the right weather to be planted outside. And there was no bird before I started sharing. But we work in the abyss of all you are, one step at a time. That's part of the work we do together. So today, as we gather, I wanted to share, I had a major breakthrough yesterday. Like it just like, and it took being with a group. It took being with a group of women to where this container was being held by that facilitator and a woman that I really trust. And so as I started to share something, this just epiphany came through. And so, yes, I do this work and I do this healing work and I do, this multidimensional work, and I work with um different levels, different beings. I'm still working on my connection with the telluric realm, and so I can feel that emotion coming up just as I share that. And and I also have other things I do that, like working with the cattle, working, like my husband's doing a cement job today. If I wasn't doing this, like he knows Wednesdays are my day to be online and teaching this, and or doing the laundry. So, there's all those other parts of life. Okay. So one of the things I also have is an insurance license. And as I've been sitting with this, in the month of April, because it's due for renewal. Every 2 years it's due for renewal. And something hit me yesterday. How many of you heard that we are actually going into new times? How many of you have heard that we are awakening to new energies? How many of you have heard the we're now in the age of Aquarius. We're moving into a new paradigm. There's new energy coming to Earth. There are, we have this capability now that the veils are dropping. I'm not saying I understand this. I'm just repeating some of the things that I hear, that I'm being taught, that I'm in awareness of. And like there's new energy. There's these veils are dropping to where we can actually be in two different places at one time. Like there's just more of this that's coming forth. How many of you have heard that? So by hearing that and by feeling that and by working towards being more in the sovereignness of who one is, like that's what I continually to work on. Because when we're in our own sovereign self, nobody else can control us. There is a belief and a faith. Now, not dissing on insurance, but I talked to somebody yesterday that, even another person. So I had back to back to back energy sessions, whether it was for me with a mentor or me with somebody else helping them through something. So the energy yesterday was palpable. Okay. So I've been playing with this idea of, man, I got to renew my my insurance license. I got to have it done by May 21st. And and then I look it up, and instead of 12 hours, now it's 18 hours. And it wasn't about the money, it was about the time. So I'm still wrestling with it. I'm still wrestling with it till yesterday. Throughout yesterday, or into yesterday morning. Still wrestling with it. What was my priorities? So in April, it's like get my taxes done, get to the, make sure I see the accountant, get that all done. And so, okay, that big major project. Okay, what's the next big major project that I need to take care of besides doing my work, besides possibly creating a program or creating something for those people that want to work with me? And is it a group or is it a single? Is it, when do I have it? All those kind of things, that kind of go through your mind as you're creating and being with who you are, plus still got to get the laundry done, got to fold it, got to put it away, not leave it in the basket. Oh, well, who can I hire to help me with certain things? So I hire a young lady and she comes in About on the average, it's been about once a week, once every 10 days. And she does she does cleaning in certain areas of the house so that way that relieves me of that. And with all that, I'm still like in the forefront of my mind, my insurance license, my insurance license. And there's this that test was so nerve-wracking. Years ago when I took that test, so nerve-wracking. There was no way I was ever going to let that insurance license lapse. And the reason I got it to begin with is because I have a friend and he started selling a certain type of insurance. And he's in Colorado and he wanted to come into Kansas. And hey, Tammy, this is a great opportunity for us to work together, which I believe that, which it would have been. It would have been a great opportunity for us to work together. And that never came to fruition. So, but I still was like, I'm going to make sure I always keep this insurance license because you never know what if. So here's the duality. Now, this is a word that I never really understood. I'm the kind of person, I'm very visual and very experiential. Okay, that's how I learn. There's emotion with that too. That's interesting. That's how I learn really deep. Like that's how it clicks in my brain. So when, okay, so duality is like, I don't know what that means. Like, and I would like, give me an example. Give me an example. And anytime somebody that I'm listening to somebody and they're talking about duality and how we live, like black versus white. Oh no, that's not a good example. Cancel that. Like good or bad, right or wrong. Okay. So I never really understood duality. I kind of sort of did, but not like I did yesterday. Like boom. It just like boom came down, girlfriends. And as I'm on with this group and we're talking about energy and different things, I raised my hand to speak. And it was actually by the grace of somebody else saying something. This young lady, I don't even remember what she said, and it just started like popping for me. And I got on to speak because I know that my path is like over here. Like, have you ever walked through life not knowing exactly what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go? Why am I here? Yes, I had 5 children. Yes, I knew that being the best mom ever. And I'm not meaning spoiling my kids. I mean being that teacher, being that sacred space holder. How I knew to do that at the age of 17, girls, I don't know. I have always had helpers, but didn't even know I had helpers. I've always had guidance, but didn't even understand it way back then. I love you. I love you. I love you. So, yesterday, okay. So yesterday when I'm on I'm on this call and I started to share. And I started to share about how I know that I know my path is starting to like reveal itself to me more lately than ever before in my life. I'm almost 60, girls. I'm almost 60. And I used to like drive myself crazy, and I still do every now and then. And I even asked this question yesterday. What am I here to do? What am I here to do? I I I go in those spots every now and then. How many of you have had that happen? And I know it's to work with the land. I don't know how that I don't even know exactly what that means, but I know that. And there's a trust in me that's just gonna like, okay, I'll be shown and leave it like that. And then there's this, like I know to have retreats here. Like I can feel, sense, and know there's something that's developing. Like I know that I know within, not that I know up here in my head, in my brain, but I know like there's a trust within me of a knowing within me that something is developing. And that's where I just have to have the trust of a mustard seed. Wow, there's a lot of emotion coming up right now. So that's moving. So not only is that there, but that's also moving into this new paradigm, this new energy, this new world, this new heaven on earth that I know and I've always known my entire life that we can create that. And then over here is this renewing of my insurance license. And yesterday, for the first time, I'm like, wow, that's duality. Do you understand what I'm seeing? What I'm saying? It's like, that's duality. So what? So like this felt like this, how do I say this? Insurance license. Now, I'm not saying, now this is just about me, okay? It's like, wow, this heaviness, this 18 hours that I can spend over here in creation and of something, of planting or facilitating or and the possibilities are endless. They're infinite, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you feel that energy? I can just feel it like woo. And then over here, insurance license, renew it. And for the first time in 10 years, it's been at least 10 years since I had that insurance license. Now I'm going to look it up just to see how many years I've actually had it. Because actually, I think it's been longer than 10 years. And I chose to let it go. I chose yesterday after sharing that in this group. And then I happened to have an appointment with one of my mentors, one of my healers that I go to when I can't, when I feel like I need help in certain areas of my life. I already had a pre-scheduled appointment with her yesterday, not knowing that this huge breakthrough was going to be there. And as I shared that with her, and as we cleared this energy together, and as this firm boom and the realization of how I lived in duality. And I've never, ever used that. I've never, ever used that insurance policy license, that insurance license. But here was part of the thing. This is part of what kept me stuck there. And this is what we want to look at ourselves and see where we keep ourselves hooked in. Because we all do it. We all do it. Where do we keep ourselves hooked in? So for one, I have an insurance license. This is what kept me hooked into it. I passed that test, meaning I was smart. I was intelligent enough to pass the test. Now, ladies, I never grew up feeling smart. I never grew up feeling intelligent. And just the fact that I just said that word describing a part of me, I was intelligent enough to pass the test. That is still a new word in my vocabulary describing myself. Because that is one thing I never felt growing up and even into much of my adulthood was intelligent. Because um, what's the right word here? I related the word intelligent to being book smart. Now, my older sister, she was, wow. She was she was like photographic memory, straight A's all the time, didn't even have to work at it. And I had to struggle to get B's. I struggled to get B's. Okay, so paper, degree, more or less. I had my insurance license. It was on paper. It was all about me, like, okay, I feel smart. Okay, I have this license saying, yes, I can go sell insurance, even though I never did. But it was on paper. It was like a degree, right? And it was like a backup plan. What if? What if I ever needed it? What if? I always had this insurance license. By getting rid of the what if for me, maybe for you too, we literally open ourselves up to trusting in the universe in such a big way to know that we are taken care of. And all those helpers, all those, okay, so this woman I was working with, she said, as soon as I was like, I'm not renewing it. And she saw all these fairies dancing, celebrating around me. Now that's a gift I'm still working on. So in order to see all that, and she was just like, wow. She was like in awe of the celebration that was happening around me. And so I knew, like, that was an actual immediate feedback loop of my decision. And even sleeping with it overnight, because usually sometimes how does this feel? That you make a decision and then within 24 hours you're like, oh no, oh no. Like there's like this remorse that happens. And there's no remorse. It just feels so free. It feels absolutely freeing. I even have energy coming up my arm, my left arm. It feels so absolutely freeing to say, to declare I am done with that piece. I'm not renewing. I'm choosing not to renew. Yes, I am choosing not to renew my insurance license. That feels free. That feels freeing. And it's as if this when you build Legos, so Legos are all different sizes and everything. That's what it actually I'm seeing that right now, like this structure that held me in that for over 10 years of this, gotta have that backup, gotta, which I didn't realize this. I did not realize all of this until yesterday. I just sat with this whole like, aha, all day long in awe. That's why we got to do this work, ladies. We've got to do our inner work, our inner healing work, our inner landscapes want us to come till the soil, wants us to plant the good seeds, want us to keep nurturing those inner landscapes of who we are, because there's so many things that we may not know, that we have no clue about, that still want to come forth, still wants to come forth to be seen, heard, felt, realized, experienced. It's like this structure has been there for over a decade, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even see it, and it kept me in this old paradigm. Kept me like pulled into this old paradigm of what we're moving out of. And when I said no yesterday, when I declared out loud, I am choosing not to renew my insurance license, it's like somebody built a structure out of Lego blocks. And it's like those Lego blocks were just like breaking all apart, breaking all apart, breaking all apart. I can feel that right now, like, and it feels freeing. So, and I share this with you in order for you to look at your life, look at where you are, because I did this. I thought I had to have it, but it was like, it was an old mindset. It was by freeing up that energy, not just that 18 hours to renew it, there's a bigger energy that was all wrapped in that. There is a bigger energy wrapped all in that. And that energy is now free to actually bring all this over here of creation, and like, so it's not like left or right, okay? But just like, even my arm, like there's movement coming through my arm, there's energy moving through my body on the left side. It's as if like even my left side a bit that I didn't even realize has been locked down. Wow, right? Wow. So thank you, Jan. So Jan says, so identify with having the diplomas, licenses, and certifications. I needed those to prove to myself that I too was intelligent. Now, this woman, Jan, she's like incredible. I love this woman. I love you. And she said, letting some of those go was freeing. Funny, I also had my insurance license, never sold a policy. It was a what if for me. And just, yes, the letting go of that. Like, there's still emotion that's coming up around that. And it's like an emotion of celebration. It's an emotion of celebration and trust. Trust. Trust, Tammy. Trust that you're taken care of. Trust that everything's going to be okay. Trust that the universe and my spirit, my essence has my back. There's a trust that goes along with that. And as one of my former mentors used to say, there's no plan B. That was a plan B. That was a what if. So I just, I bring this forth to you to encourage you to look at where something might be in your life. It's taking away time, taking away space, that's maybe pulling you. For me, it was the renewal of that insurance license. What's pulling you? Maybe keeping you in this old paradigm, in the 3D versus being in the 5D. What's pulling you? What's niggling you? Just a little niggle, a little thought, a little, I should do this. I must do this. Well, you better do this. That kind of thinking, that kind of, those little thoughts like that seep into the mind. What is it? What's it around? What's it about? Will it support you and where your spirit really wants you to go? Will it? Okay, let me rephrase that. It's like cleaning out the closet within us. Yeah, my closet just came to mind. There's a lot of cleaning out to do in there. Some things just don't support us anymore. And where we're at right now, and where our souls, our spirit, our essence desires to take us. If we just allow it to, if we allow it to show us, if we allow it to show us, and then we take action on it. Mm-hmm. So by declaring, it's also like, I declare I am free of this. And it took me being able to say it with other women, being able to say it in a safe container, being able to be witnessed and allow myself to talk through the process. And that's how, and actually, and I didn't even realize that in the moment when I was all done sharing what just like popped through me. The facilitator's like, Tammy, thank you so much for allowing us to witness you and your process. And then I also had her feedback. And I also encouraged the other women. See, I'm sharing this with you also because I'm encouraging you to speak, to find those containers, to reach out if you need one. Within 5 minutes, I did this whole process of like, I like blew my mind to be witnessed, and to be able to speak your truth and witnessed also like opened up this energy for these other women. Actually, also, this is how important it is. This is why I also encourage you all to also post things in this group because you give. I'm telling you, this is important, ladies. You open up energy within this container of our Ignite Your Joyful Heart Facebook group by sharing, by posting, by whatever you bring forth. You open up the energy. And it's as if you give permission for others to come forth too that might be thinking about it. Because I get personal messages. People don't want to post in there, but I get personal messages about like if somebody did or saying, oh, that was good, Tammy, or, different things like that. Okay. So anyway, by posting something, by sharing out loud, by being witness, you give permission to these people that are listening to you, that are watching you, that are sitting with you. You actually are helping them to develop their own gifts. We go throughout life not even knowing what our gifts are. Usually because they're so close to who we are, we don't even know it's a gift. For instance, back in 2007, I think it was 2005, 2007, I am flying to Seattle to connect up with a friend. His name is John, like a brother, man. Love this guy. And we were going to go together up into Canada to a week long intense work up in the mountains with an incredible facilitator. Okay, so I asked John, like, and I'm joking, haha, but it also kind of like really mean it. Well, John, are you ready? Are you ready really to be with Tammy? Just one-on-one? So if this is over, okay, let's just say I'm 60 because I will be in 31 days. So this is at least 15 years ago. So it had been about 45. Still insecure of who I am. Still not knowing what my real gifts are. Still searching for those. Still questioning. And he comes back to me and he's like, are you kidding, Tammy? I feel like it's a gift for me to be with you one-on-one. Do you realize how unique you are? You're so real. You're so raw. You're just so you. You know how rare you are, Tammy? Had no clue. Had no clue that somebody thought I was rare. So rare and unique because I be me. That was like one of the first times I'd ever heard anybody say that. That by sharing our truth and being open and willing to hear, and it took me years. People will come forth with these things that they're telling us. So when somebody tells you that, when somebody compliments you, how many times, ladies, somebody will compliment you and you like poo it. I have a neighbor lady. I got on her case years ago. She's just adorable. And she's a helper, and she's there for you if you need it. And like I'm hearing her say that about me right now. And I would compliment her, and she would like poo-poo it all the time. And then finally one day I just put my foot down and I'm like, girl, how come you are not accepting my compliments? Do you realize you're doing that? She never realized she was doing that she was poo-pooing them. Because here's something. When somebody gives you a compliment, receive it. It could be a little crunchy at first. You just say it in your head, I received this compliment. Even if it feels crunchy, because here's something. When somebody gives you a compliment, it's coming from this pure energy. From them, from inside of them. And when you poo-poo it, it's like you're slapping them on the face with their energy. Because you just like sent it back to them. Like you sent it back like, boom. Like that. Somebody compliments you. Receive. And I received John's compliments. And boy, it's just like, and I was getting more of that kind of feedback throughout the whole week we were in Canada. Like people that would come and talk to me. And people that would just like these accolades. Like, wow. Started to the light was being shined upon me to help me to see my own grace, my own gifts, and the glory that's there within me. And that would have never happened if I poo-pooed all those accolades. So think about that. Think about that. Okay? Even the universe, even these different beings, even the fairies, the Sasquatch, the gnomes, unicorns, thank you. They're other beings from other planets, worlds, star elders. They're wanting to compliment you. Compliments might not be the word for them, but they're sending you. They want to connect with you. And saying yes to that is like accepting the compliment that they want to connect. Saying, create a relationship. Thank you for that. So Jan goes on to say, my hesitation for letting all those credentials go for me had to do with how much money, time, continuing education, etc. I get it, girl. So hard to justify just walking away. So much of it had to do with feeling like I may have failed. Interesting. It was your left side feeling energy, feminine side. You even scratched your throat. You even scratched your throat, so you are pushing through to give voice to this. Oh, that's interesting, Janet. See, I didn't even realize that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, being witnessed right now by this beautiful being, this being we know as Jan, sharing that with me, like, wow, yes, I received that. I received that. And I can already feel Jan knowing, like, I'm receiving what she said. And I can already feel the worth of Jan, her worthiness, that she can already start to feel like her worthiness. rise up within her. If even a bit, I get it. Justifying the finances. That's why I was sharing earlier in this that it wasn't even about the money to renew the license. This time it wasn't about the money, it was about the time. Time is something we cannot get back. And I'm like, 18 hours. So I'm grateful that it's 18 hours because that's what made me stop and really like think. 18 hours? Do I really want to spend 18 hours renewing a license? Then I was trying to figure out like, okay, 3 hours a day. Well, what if the course is longer than 3 hours? And how am I going to break that up? And it's got to be done by a certain date. And I also have other things like I have a keynote that's coming up that, I want to practice. And wow, girls, there's so much energy moving right now. And while my mind was focused on, or part of my mind, part of my thoughts was going over to this renewing of this license over the last, especially the last few weeks, ever since I said yes to the keynote, okay, which is May 15th. That's interesting too, huh? Keynote's over here on the right side where all this other work. Whew, okay. So I'm thinking about the keynote and what am I going to talk about? And I kid you not, yesterday after, and I couldn't, okay, so over the last 3 weeks, okay, Tammy, slow down. Let me just take a breath. See, it's exciting, right? So when you feel yourself excited, sometimes you leave your body. Your energy leaves your body. So just take a breath. Come back to center. Take that breath into the heart space. Feel the rhythm of your heart. Okay, so I'm thinking about the keynote, what I'm going to talk about, and nothing's really coming for the last 3 weeks. Like there's bits and pieces, but not this boom. Okay, got that? Yesterday, as I'm sitting, okay, so first happens when I say, okay, I'm talking with this group of women, boom. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Then an hour later, maybe a couple hours later, I'm with one of my mentors and we're going through this and she's seeing where all these other hooks are that need to be cleared up in regards to this piece of this structure. And there's discussion going on during that process. And the point was, what was the point I was going to make? Oh, the thoughts for the keynote started popping through right before I got on with her. I found an old keynote on my computer I totally forgot about. Boom. And I'm reading it and I'm like, perfect, perfect. And then we start talking about it, me and this mentor of mine. And I'm like, oh, that's like their superpower, this or that, because it's for a massage group, a massage therapy class at our local university, Fort Hays State, where I'm giving the keynote for this class to massage therapy students, which is about energy, right? Because we go into their field, they go into ours. When we say yes to their hands touching us in that energetic field of resonance. Okay, so, and it's just like all these ideas, like boom, oh, boom. Okay, now I know what I'm going to talk about. But it took freeing up this structure, freeing up the mind space of how I was going to do it, was I going to do it, time, finances, all of that, all of that. What if I don't do it? How will that reflect upon me? All of that. And it's like, right there, another feedback loop. Feedback loops are like, how do I say this? To me, a feedback loop is a sign for me, for you, when you make a decision, when you're contemplating something, when you make a decision, when you did some healing work and you see, boom, this has changed. Or boom, maybe you see like the bird coming forth. Now there's no birds right now, but at the very beginning when there was birds, mhm, feedback loops. That's what I call them. Messages from the universe, from the divine, from the creator, our creator, our creatorness within us of like, yeah, girl, you're on the right path. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So look at where you're holding yourself back. Look at where you may be saying yes to something that no longer serves you from this day forward. Look at your life. What are you thinking about right now? What are you contemplating right now? Question you can ask. And I forgot this, girls. I forgot this. I forgot to ask. Does renewing my insurance license support me of where my spirit and I are going? I totally forgot that one. And it's okay. And it's okay. Because the answer came in just a different roundabout way. So look at your life. Where are you keeping yourself stuck? Where are these structures so built, so strong, so, yeah, that they're ready to come down? They're ready. They just want you to recognize them because they can't come down without you. They can't come down without you seeing them, hearing them, recognizing them, and having a yes, that yes within you for them to come down. Mine's been there for over 10 years, girls. There are things there that desire to be unwound. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me today. Let's keep this conversation going on over in our Facebook group. This has been such a realization for me, such a tremendous, tremendous aha, just aha, still reverberating through my system. So much love to you. So much love to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with me today. If there's something that you want me to discuss, something that you want me to bring forth, let me know what that is. Let me know. Hey, Tammy, can you talk about such and such today? Let me know what that is. And we'll go from there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers, everyone.